What's up? Another day, another dollar. Back at it again, another video. And today, working another Toyota. Not my car though. It's a customer's car. So on this job of We Break It, I Fix It, I'm gonna be changing out brake pads and rotors. And then in the future, you guys gonna see I'm gonna end up doing wheel bearings for this vehicle too as well. Different type of style that I'm kind of used to. It's the ones that it's like kind of like you have to press in and just don't have bolts. So I hate that design. I don't know who thought about this design, but it was the most stupidest design ever. Knowing that cars, they actually have ones that actually have bolts. Me personally, I take the cars that has bolts and me pressing in the wheel bearing and pressing it out. Yeah, I don't know what. All right, so let me flip this camera around. So I guess you could say it's a how-to video, but not really. But these are the people who don't know how to change brakes and rotors. I'm gonna show you guys, and the people who do know how to change brakes and rotors, there's just, you guys are just here for the video. All right, so flip this camera around and step by step. The first thing you will need, you need your jack. You need your jack support, and of course you would need your seat clamp, or they actually do have some versions that you can push back the piston back. But this is the most important thing. A lot of people who they don't tell you. So when you go to the vehicle, by the way, his battery looked like it's on its last leg, so we probably might clean that out. But you always want to take off the cover off of your brake reservoir, because the time that you pushing the piston up and you don't know if the vehicle that is overfilled or not, kind of depends. Right now we don't know if he's low on brake pads or not. He just wanted to change his rotors. So, but if this is overfilled and he has low on brake pads, and pretty much there's gonna be a little story time, but pretty much if you're low on brake pads, your brake fluid is gonna go down. So that's just pretty much what it is. Some people probably don't know it and probably think, oh, your brake fluid is low, so let me just top off some more brake fluid. And then that's the wrong, because if you're about to do your brake job and you have this cover on there, and this cover is a little bit softer, so it's not like, it won't happen in this car, but they have some other ones like mine is on the Eclipse there. They have like they have a different type of style, but it screws on and locks into place. So if you're trying to push back the piston back, and then this is topped off, and you have your cap on, you pretty much will blow your master cylinder, or whatever the weakest component that's on the vehicle, and have a brake leak. So that is just something that you can do to not let that happen, because again, you don't want to change brakes, and brakes end up have to change like brake lines or something like that. You never know. You never know. You can get that on those tar jobs. We got the vehicle here. All right. So this is not a 19 or 18. So these are 19s. So you will need a 19mm socket. Or if you don't have a 19mm socket, that one's too big. I think it's 3/4. Yeah, you can use a 3/4 socket too as well if you don't have a 19. All right, Harbor Freight for the win. Yeah, I got this impact at Harbor Freight, and I used a coupon. Originally, it was like 50 bucks. I got a 20% coupon. I got it for $30. So, the one thing is, I don't even know they still make this. I'm pretty sure they do, but this impact is probably the best, cheapest impact that you can get it. But you have to know your limits about this, because I went past it and I got one of those stock ones, and I think this impact was not getting it off. I ended up breaking something that was in the middle of it. So it's good, but it's not good for like all right. This is a small. All right, who the hell put anti-seize? That's dumb. Who the hell puts anti-seize on splines? I never saw somebody ever do that before, but I think that's really dumb. Everything in this car is so like small, and rotors wasn't too bad. It do got a little lip right here. So this is how you can tell if you need rotors. Number one, it's more about the feeling. So you see, so it do has a lip right here at the edge. That's kind of normal when you have it for a couple years, but it's mainly these middle parts. So you kind of like, by the way, the rotor is warm. It ain't cold, but it is warm. Then again, it is like 85 degrees outside. So you just take your nail, or if you don't have a nail, well, hopefully you do got a nail. But if the rotor's too hot, then you just take like a stick anywhere you find on the floor, and then just rub it against the rotor. So the inside of the rotor part, where most of the brake pads go down, is pretty smooth by feeling with a stick. But by visual look, you see the little lines right there. You see a little lip, and then he do got good brake pads. We're still gonna replace them because, you know, this is for the customer. If this was my vehicle, I would have just left these brake pads back on and call it a day. Someone's interrupted me. Okay, I was talking to my pops for a little bit, but yeah. So after you get the wheel off, you get your jack and everything on. Then after that, if you didn't do so already, you go inside the driver's seat. Hopefully the steering wheel doesn't lock. You just turn it all the way to the right. Yeah. So since we turn the wheel all the way to the right, then we go right over here, and you're gonna be taking off these two nuts right here. So this one right here, hopefully you can get a good video. It's a little bit too much light over here. And then one right there. And usually there always be a 14, so just kind of like remember that. Usually most of the time they be 14s. That's kind of standard, honestly. But you okay. To be honest, it's probably a little bit like a 13 more. No, it fits a 14. It's just not snug. It's just an old bolt. Alright, so this is one thing you could do too as well, is take off this nut here off of the brake line, so you can have a little bit room. This is not mandatory at all. Honestly, when you take out the caliper, you can kind of have like a bucket sitting here. But I'm gonna take off the line, so when we took off this caliper off, I have a little bit more slack, and then I just put this on top of the axle here. So all right, so we took off the brake pads. So honestly, these brake pads is pretty new. Yeah, these brake pads look very, very new, to be honest. Yeah, looks like they just changed it. And by the way, you can look, when you look at your brake pads and you see it kind of evenly, like you see it kind of evenly a little bit. Kind of looks like the front one on here is a little bit bigger than the one in the bottom one. But if it's not like a too major difference, then that's how you know your slide pins are good. So before I even touch it, slide pins are moving. Slide pins is moving. Yeah, probably can say this vehicle needs a new boot right here, but pretty much, yeah. So all right, so we just put back the bolts back. Put back the bolts back. The one, and my bad for me talking a lot. Yeah, lighting is not the best right here, but the one thing I do say is, for people who work on old cars, this is the one tool I definitely do recommend. It's called a thread chaser kit. Thread chaser kit. It comes in a big giant box of thread chasers. So, ooh, bless you. So, you ever heard of a tapping, like, you know, tapping die set? That's pretty much just retapping threads, and like if you're making new threads and stuff like that. But a thread chaser is pretty much, it's gonna retrace over those damaged threads that that is already there, and they have different sizes of different ones that works out for which. And then you just put them on, tighten it up, going in, pull it out, and then boom, and then your damaged threads is actually brand new. The only reason why I'm telling you this, because this car is a 2001, so a little bit old, but it's not that old. Well, it is old, but it's the end of the years of this model. But pretty much, yeah, that's something I do recommend for people who is new working on cars, or you know, there's new working on cars, they don't know tools like that. But it's a tool that I do recommend to have. Yep. Alright, so pretty much it's a bolt right here. Yep, there's a bolt right here. Yeah, so there's a bolt right here. You can probably see, it's probably better doing it right here. So there's a bolt right here, and there's a bolt right down there, right here. So that is a 2 bolts that you had to take off, and it's on this bracket that's right here. So, and it is, you can use 11/16 or a 17 millimeter. In my case, I'm using 11/16 because it feels better. Ooh. Alright. Usually you're supposed to stand up on this, but I'm gonna see how I can get it. Alright, I'll use 2 hands. Okay, so we got the bracket off. Get the bolt, put the bolt at a nice safe place. And then now, sometimes it's a little tip, right? This is a little tip. You see these screws right here? Okay. So if your rotor is very tight on there and you're trying to get the rotor off and you can't, and you just need a bolt like this. So what I do recommend is you just sit here and look for a bolt that kind of fits. So in this case, it's a little bit too small. And let's try out this bolt that we have sitting around. So this one do fits on there. So it do fit. So it's supposed to be like this. You tighten it up and you keep tightening it, and it's gonna push against the back of the housing there, and then it's gonna pop the rotor off. Step two, if you don't want to do that and you don't have a bolt, honestly, you just get a hammer it from right here. You change the rotor regardless. B, this is well, technically this is C, but technically I meant to say it for B. If you are taking off the rotor, and I say you change, you're doing something that you're doing something that, like I say for axle, if you change out the axle out, this is what I do recommend. It's just getting you hammer it right here. Don't hammer it on the rotor, but hammer it right here, and that's another way how to get it off. If it's really stuck, so if it's real stuck, then that means that it's a lot of rust is like right here, and not in this car because it looked like they put a lot of grease on this, to be honest. But pretty much, yeah. So then you pretty much will get like W40 PB Blaster. I know it was another thing called Locker Loose can. I never tried that can out, but you guys can try it. But usually what I go, if it's really stuck on and it's a hammer's not really doing nothing, then I would say get a torch, heat this part up right here, and just get a crayon and seep it in where the edge of the metal is, and it's gonna get right here. This crayon's gonna be right here. It's gonna leak down. It's gonna get that lubricant. Then when it's very hot, and then it can break loose. So, and one thing is too as well. I'm trying to do the best I can with editing, well, recording this. But the one thing I do recommend too as well, some cars do come with left and right side of rotors. Not all cars, to be honest. If they have a left and right side of a rotor, it's a German car. Just to let you guys know. So, old cars is kind of like the same. So, the one thing I do recommend is to, number one, use alcohol to get some of the residue off the rotor. So as in alcohol, as in brake clean. If you don't have brake clean, honestly, you can use rubbing alcohol. In my case, I do got brake clean. But it's a little bit left in there, but ain't crazy. I think I got 2. So hopefully this will be enough. Well, this is all gone. Yeah, this is all gone. Don't mind my trunk here. By the way, this is the how-to video, but I like to talk to you guys a little bit. But I've just got the message today when I was trying to get the clips back on the road. I just need that one part of, if you guys know, the transaxle. The splines did get damaged, so I'm gonna need that. But the one guy who actually said he has the part because he was parting out an Eclipse, and he said he gonna sell it to me for like 80 bucks. I said, okay, that's perfect. And then he asked me to come and get it Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday. But he wanted me to take it off. I kind of didn't want to take it off if I'm paying him 80 bucks to, you know, for the part. It's kind of like I want him to actually take it off. So, and then I can you know, because there's no point in me paying somebody so I can take it and I take it off. Then I go in like something like I need to go to his house, drive to his house. They're going to take it off. They're going to take off the part, and then from there come back home and put it back on. It's not that big of a deal, but to be honest, I was just like, I wasn't trying to do all of that. So, but I don't know if he actually was really doing all that stuff. To be honest, I don't know what I'm talking about, but it is what it is. Again, I can always find it somewhere else. I actually found it on online, pretty much. Got lucky, but if not, it is what it is, right? I got another brake clean. All right, so there's a little bit left in there. Well, I'm gonna use this coaster thing to wipe off the residue. Don't judge. Yeah, don't judge. That's the first thing I saw and the first thing I'm gonna use. This one's out too. Pretty much got two brake clean cans that's pretty much empty. All right, I'm back. I got my napkin and I got my alcohol, 70%. It's not too bad. See, it will work. Just put that on there, close the cap. It's not the wipes I actually wanted to use, to be honest, but if you have little shop racks, that would do too. And then look at all the grime and stuff like that. And then flip the rotor around and we do the back. And then we just open up the rag. So kind of want to get the good side. I think what happened was I think I put a little bit too much alcohol on the thing. All you need is a little bit goes a long way. All right. I'm not going to show you guys the other side because it makes no sense. Just do that one side. Yep. So. All right. We got the rotor on. I need to get it. Yeah. So we got the rotor on. Now this is a time that if they do come with, most of the times they supposed to come with new slides and stuff like that, but we just double check that they do. They actually do. So this is a good thing you check. Well, I check. So, and then if they don't, sometimes cars they don't, and honestly, I would just say just kind of like this. You can get like a flathead screwdriver or like a little pick, and just pick off like kind of like scratch off the surfaces like this and get all that rust off, all that rust and brake dust off. But in this case, all right, so this is a next step that you want to do is take off this off. You just get your little pick or your flathead screwdriver. And then from there, You just scrape off all the, I don't know if you can see a little bit, but kind of like a scrape off. If you have a metal brush, you could do that too as well, but and then just take off this at the top. All right, some reason I don't know why my phone made some type of new update, so it's kind of hard for me to get to the wide camera. All right, just kind of clean off some of the stuff. Some people don't really do this, honestly. Yeah, some people don't do this. This is another tip too. I do recommend to not jump the gun and throw these out, because sometimes, not really sometimes, it's kind of like a 50% chance that depending on the brake pads you get, these pieces be absolutely wrong compared to the ones that was originally on there. My car, for example, yeah, they do that a lot. I witnessed that a couple times, that especially AutoZone, especially AutoZone is something about it. They would just do something like that. So you kind of like just want to compare it. Just look at the two. Flip it around so you guys can see. Just look at the two, like this. It's kind of hard to see a good, you know. But yeah, it's kind of hard to see. But I don't know. But you guys get the picture though. Out with the old, well, out with the old, in with the new, and show you guys how. It's not that hard, but it goes like this. Push it down. Push it down. And then from there you can take a little love taps. See how this side is not really pushed down all the way? Alright, let me unloose this rotor, because to be honest, the rotor is actually, since it's not even, we bolted down, so I only got one in there. This way like that. Only reason why I took off that, so you guys will know, since I had one lug nut onto the rotor was unevenly balanced on it, so that means it was more torque on this one than obviously on these three. So this side had the rotor pushing inwards, and that means it was pushing against this side here. So it was kind of hard for me to push that down. So that's when I took that off. The rotor ended up being loose and it ended up being straight again, and I was able to push this down. So that is one of the reasons why I was kind of like a little bit struggling. But you pop that in, it's a nice easy flush. Just make sure it's completely seated. It's completely seated. And you're not done yet with the, so So here's kind of the brake pads. So number one, make sure that you have the proper brakes, visual look on all of them, because sometimes they will have one type of style that is different and the other type of style a little bit, they have two ones that are the same and they have other two that's not the same. So sometimes brake pads will do that. In this case, the brake pads all four is the same, but some case it would just be like the back pads. Like the back pads is different from the one in the front pads, but if you put the same pads, it would still work. So some cars, they come with that, and you would need to have the two opposite pads. It's kind of hard to explain because I don't have it right in front of me, but some cars do that. Yeah, so we got the pads, and these are the pieces and these are some of the pieces you had to clip on. So it clips on to this side. They do come with, how many pieces they come? Sometimes they come with 4, sometimes they come with 2. So it come with 2 pieces. This is something I do. Hopefully, I think this is right, but don't go over my word on this one. But it kind of really don't honestly matter, honestly. It kind of really don't really matter as much where exactly. But this piece right here, this shiny piece, I always like to put it in the back. On the back of the rotor. So it's pretty, let me show you guys. Yeah, so it's locked into place. So pretty much you just clip this on this, and I like to keep it on the top. Make sure this is facing on the top. And then from there I put the, not even showing you guys. And then I'll put them on. Only reason why I say that, because the rotor is spinning this way when you're going forward, and that means it will be pushing it down. So that'll be pushing it in. If you had it on the bottom and you put it on the bottom, this side would have been facing going this way, so it would have been pushing it down, and that means eventually this little piece right here can fall off. Well, it can fall off. It will. Some people probably say, oh, never, but it happened to me before. That's the only reason why I'm telling you guys that. Plenty of times, so not even multiple. I was actually looking for this. I didn't even know this was on my leg. But yeah. And then you just snap this into place. Alright. Alright, so now everything is good. It slides easily. Sometimes some people put like anti-seize right in the middle of the brake. If you're gonna do something like that, don't be like this guy and put this much, because this is a lot. If you actually see, I can actually pick some off of my fingers. Yeah, as you can tell. But what I do recommend, if anybody's gonna put like high temperature grease on where the part where the brake pad's sitting on, I don't recommend it. I never do it. Some other people do it. Me personally, I never do it. But if you are going to do it, put very small amount, like I would say like a little, like you see like right here on the top of my finger. I don't know if you can see it a little bit. It's a little bit dirty, but like this piece right here, like right here, the corner of your finger. Yeah, that much. Put that much and then put on there. You don't need the full finger. It's pretty much like a little piece of it. And like I do recommend, like I would say small as like a tip of a key, like just the tip of just the tip of the key. That's how much high temperature grease or anti-seize that if you guys are want to put that on there. All right. Got the last most important step that I'm gonna try to record and show you guys at the same time. It's probably not gonna work out that way, honestly. All right, so old brake pad. Put old brake pad like this, and then you get your C clamp that is somewhere on the floor behind me. So you get your old brake pad, put your brake pad in there, and then from there you get your C clamp, and you just clamp it good. So let me get this set up first, and then I'm gonna show you guys when I'm turning it. All right, so you kind of like want to have it just like this, and then from there you kind of like just want to turn. So just turn the seat clamp until it fully seats. Again, you have the brake line off, like the cap off the brake, off the master cylinder. So all right. Okay. So, and that is how you always want to do it with the old brake pads. Never do it with the new ones, because yeah. And it looks like this customer, yeah, they changed this. Yeah, they changed this caliper. This caliper is new. Don't get me wrong about the rust on the outside, but look at the inside looking like this. So that's, this video is a lot of me talking. But I do guys want you guys' opinion on something too as well. Do you guys like the how-to videos? So if I do a how-to video, I show you directly how to, or Jesus, everybody's texting me. Or if you kind of like a video like this, but it's like a how-to video, but it's like a lot of stuff in between that I'm kind of talking about. So if you guys like the how-to video, or if you guys like how-to videos or stuff like that, and it's, you know, directly how-to videos, as in it's just, that's the only thing I'm going to show you guys, is nothing else going on extra, but it's just how to like step by step to get to this. Or you guys can like more of the style as in like what I'm doing right now, as in it's just like a how-to video, but it's also me talking to you guys as well, and tell you guys what is stuff going in the background, and then getting back to the video. So I want you guys' opinion about that. Definitely put in the comments below if you guys like the how-to videos, like, you know, nice and short and simple, but also, you know, stuff that's be talking in the background. So kind of like, I just want your guys' opinion and stuff like that. But pretty much yeah. Oh, that's what I was looking for. I was looking for the other bolt. But honestly, yeah. So I would say, holy, all right, there's so much glare. So so the next step is you want to tighten up these bolts. So you just tighten up the same way, just go vice versa. It's just these bolts right here, 14 mils. So it's pretty much just like all together is only 4 bolts you got to take off. Maybe without the wheels and stuff like that, but it's pretty much only 4 bolts you got to take off. It's 2 on the caliper, 2 on the bracket. You take those off. The 14 mil is on the bracket. The 17 mil is on the bracket itself, the caliper bracket. 14 mil is on the caliper. You take those off if you're really struggling getting those 17 mils off, because sometimes it do be a pain. So this is what I do recommend. I do recommend getting a breaker bar. If you don't have a breaker bar, you can take your end piece off a jack. Yeah, take this off a jack, slip this over. Don't use this side. Use this side. You can put that on there and turn your wheel all the way to the right. If you're working on the passenger side like I'm doing right now, turn the wheel all the way to the right. If you're working on the driver's side, turn the wheel all the way to the left. If you're working for the rear, I do recommend just jack up the, if you don't have enough room to crack those loose, crack those off, you change out the rear. In this case, I think this car has drum brakes. I don't think it has rotors, but I double check. But if you are changing the rears and it's a little bit hard, there's not that much room, that I do recommend is just to jack up the car. So jack up the car until you get a good enough clearance, I would say, that you able to, you know, get it out and stuff like that. So that's what I do recommend. But other than that, that's pretty much how to reset, well, change out your rotors. In my case, I still got to tighten up the bolt off the bracket here. I was making a video for you guys. But pretty much, yeah. So as long as the most important thing is just getting the alcohol, that's something that's not recommended. Well, technically it is not really. It's not really recommended because honestly, you can put the rotors on and drive it. The only thing is, they have this oil coating that's around the axle for shipping purposes, so it won't be rust. So the time you are driving it, you're gonna hear like smoke things. Yeah, my dad was talking to me for a little bit, so I kind of forgot what I was talking about. But I think I do know. Yeah, I don't know exactly what I was talking about. But I would say this is what I mean about the cap. You just want to have the cap off just in case. You don't want to. Again, it's an old car, so that's the reason I always keep this off. And then anytime that you see white residue on your brake terminals, that means that your battery is on its last legs and is about to crap out on you. So that's like a way how to tell that your battery is about to go bad before it goes bad, before you start to have issues, as in like is slow cranking or stuff like that. Some people will say, oh yeah, you can put some type of thing on it so it won't be the white residue that go on it, but the white residue shows you that your battery terminals is about to go, well, your battery is about to go bad. And you can clean it to help, you know, make the battery last a little longer. But just know it's gonna come right back. So, and as you can tell, this battery is old because this is 2023. So this is a lead acid battery, because you can tell by the terminals. Lead acid batteries honestly lasts for 3 to 4 years. So right now, technically it's 20. Sometimes I get lost count of the year. Yeah, it's 2025. Yeah, it's 2025. So this battery is 2 years old. So next year it would have been 3. So usually batteries, lead acid batteries, only lasts for 3 years. Sometimes you can get it 4 out of it. But if you want a little bit longer battery, I have a gel battery. So that kind of lasted me 6 to 7 years. Sometimes you can get 8 out of it. So, and by the way, out of this car here, I had another car. That's a long story. Same car, same color, same year. Had the battery on there, the gel battery. Had the other car for 3 years, and I had that other battery for 2, and it went out. Bought the same one, and I have the same one that's in here for about like 3 years, and that's with subwoofers all up in my car too as well, blasting it. Yeah, that's like a little story. But that is pretty much it for today. I'm gonna hurry up and knock this car out so the customer can get the car back. It's kind of like, again, I'm gonna make a video for you guys. I would have been done with the brakes. Yeah, because honestly, brake pads and rotors, it don't take me nothing past 30 minutes. And right now, it's been like an hour because me recording. But pretty much, yeah. Again, the people, the new subscribers, I really do appreciate it for subscribing. The OG subscribers, thank you for you guys for watching my videos. I really do appreciate it. I try to make the best videos I can and make good content. Right now it's kind of like not the best placement right now of making YouTube videos, but the time I get something going on, then I will record for you guys and make a video. So and pretty much, yeah, yeah, that's pretty much it for today. But again, like and subscribe. I see you guys in the next one, and yeah, see you guys in the next one. And again, we're trying to aim for that 200 subscribers, even though it's not the end of July anymore. But we're still trying to reach that goal. Honestly, I forgot how much we at right now. If I'm wrong, it might be like 193 subscribers. I think it's 193 or 92. If it's 94, that would have been really good. But regardless, whatever the number is, I know it's 190 something. But subscribe. Trying to aim for 200 subscribers. That's funny. Alright, yeah. See you guys in the next one.